guys, I'm Trina and today I am reviewing the Heroes of Olympus series by Riordan. There are 5 books total in this series and the order of the books is The Lost Hero, The Son of Neptune, The Mark of Athena, The House of Hades, and finally The Blood of Olympus. I'm going to start this review off by giving you just some information about the series in case you're unfamiliar with it, and then I'll get into what my initial reaction and rating for the series was, and then some more specific things that I liked and didn't like. And this is going to be a spoiler-free review. The Heroes of Olympus series is a continuation of the Percy Jackson and the Olympians series, but this series has a new plot and we do have all new characters, although we do still see a few familiar faces from that first series. This is a little bit more YA, but it's a very clean series. I think it's very fitting for younger readers, but older readers would still enjoy it as well. The overall plot of this series is that after the events of Percy Jackson and the Olympians, the gods on Mount Olympus have pretty much gone silent and nobody really knows what's happened to them, and meanwhile all these giants are rising up all over the world, and there's this looming threat that the goddess of Earth itself is about to be awakened, and when she is awakened she's going to basically wipe humanity from the surface of the earth because of their mistreatment of her. So we have some new Greek as well as Roman heroes that set out to stop that from happening. My initial reactions to the series are that I liked it so much more than I liked the first Percy Jackson series. I just didn't really get into that one, and I felt like maybe part of the problem of my disconnect with the first series was that I am older when I've read it, and I felt like if I had read them maybe when I was like 12 and really into Greek mythology, into that unit at school, that I would have really loved that series. I do have an entire review on that series, so I don't want to talk too much about it, but I was hesitant to whether or not I wanted to pick up a continuation, and I had several people tell me that they liked this series a lot better. I'm really glad that I did give it a shot because I really did like it so much more. There are a lot of things that Riordan did differently in the storytelling that suit his writing style a lot better in my opinion. You saw my individual ratings of each book at the beginning of this video, and overall it's a 4-star rated series for me. I do recommend it. I think that if you didn't like the Percy Jackson series, check this one out. You probably will like it better. If you did like Percy Jackson, definitely check this one out. I would even say check it out if you didn't even read or didn't even get through the Percy Jackson and the Olympian series, because I don't think too much was completely dependent on the outcome of that. Like, some of it's referenced, but it's referenced enough for you to know what had happened. So the things that I liked the most about the series are that in Heroes of Olympus, the storytelling is now third-person point of view, which opened it up so much more to Riordan jumping to another scene. I felt like that worked so much more for the story he was trying to tell, because this is a really broadly scoped story. Another thing I really liked was the blending of the Greek and Roman mythology. This series does show the Greek gods warring with their Roman side, because some of the gods are the same throughout those cultures, but they are called something different and they have slightly different personalities, and I really enjoyed seeing how that played together. The small units of it I did study in class were very interesting, so getting to see it come to life like this was really cool. I think it would be highly beneficial for students who are currently studying that stuff in class. The other thing that I really liked about this series that I think just sets it apart from the first one and from a lot of middle grade and even YA books is the amount of diversity that was included. We have a Chinese character, a Cherokee character, a black character, a couple of Latino characters, and we even have a gay character, but I'll get to my feelings on how that was represented in just a second. But the diversity is there, and there are more female characters present. So moving on to the things I didn't like I just said, there is an LGBT character. However, I wasn't completely impressed with how it was presented because it was done so forcefully. The character was outed against their will, and it was used as a plot twist, like a shocking thing about a character that we had always known, and one of the characters that was present kind of reacted to it in maybe an over-the-top way that I just didn't really see as cool. But in the end, as the series goes on, it's portrayed just as something normal and it's very accepted among the other characters. It's good that that was included, but I thought maybe it was included in ways that might have reinforced stereotypes. And the last thing I didn't really appreciate is that sometimes the jokes or the monsters were presented as a bit too juvenile, because I went into the series thinking that this was marketed as a YA series. The characters themselves did act pretty age appropriate. They were acting more mature than like the monsters, so overall it kind of gave it a feeling of just these monsters and this threat are kind of a laughing stock, which I think is going to be more appealing to a younger audience. So there's nothing wrong with it. It was just like my expectations for this being a YA series. It was a little bit more juvenile YA. So my final thoughts on the series were that I really felt like these books, the overall story arc progressed very well. We had a great introduction into it. Every book had a lot of action in it, had a lot of time getting to know the characters so that you were really invested in them, and the final book ended things in a way that I felt was highly appropriate and very well done for this series. So overall, I just really thought it was a well plotted and well written series this time around, and it has definitely made me very interested in reading more of Rick Riordan's books. The last thing I want to mention is that I did listen to this entire series on audiobook. The first 3 books were narrated by Joshua Swanson, and the last 2 books were narrated by Nick Chamian, and I felt like the narrators did a really good job with the voices. If you're wondering if the audiobooks are any good, I did think that they were very well done. They are engaging. That's it. If you have any more questions about this series, please ask me down below and I will answer you there. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the comments. Bye!